Hello, welcome back to Sweden. It's round 2 of the 2020 FIA World Rallycross Championship, and specifically we're about to witness the semi-finals for the European Rallycross Championship, which is round 1, confusingly, but we're trying to get as much Rallycross action in as possible. Joining me here on the pre-grid area are Andrew Coley and Dan Rook, our amazing commentary team. First of all, that last session, in case you missed it, we will bring you a recap shortly. That last session was why we're back. It was epic.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was so good. I know everyone gets nervous about when Kristoffersen's here because of 11 out of 12 wins, and you've got to give him the same respect that you would give Lewis Hamilton or anybody who dominates their sport. Usain Bolt, you know, they're the best of the best. If they keep winning, it's up to the others to beat them. So he comes back, and I think the fans are a bit, I hope he doesn't win everything. He wins yesterday. But it was obvious yesterday that it isn't the gap there was. And then when Ekstrom did him in Q2, it was brilliant. Johan wouldn't have thought it was quite so brilliant, but they will both know. Those two guys are the guys who can operate at that next level. To see them fighting like that for me was awesome. Worth all the effort that everybody's gone to get here.
Yeah, and Dan, just from your perspective, you know, we needed to see someone, both tactically and just in pure pace and racecraft, challenge Johan.
Yeah, 100%. And Matthias, he wasn't even supposed to be racing, really, was he? And he's come in now and he's really stuck it to Johan. It's exactly what this championship needed.
Now, of course, we've got Euros. This is the Euro grid lining up behind us for the 2 semi-finals, but we're going to have a look at the recap of what happened in qualifying 2.
Sorry, we can't see the recap down here. Our monitor, we just had a technical issue, so I'm really sorry. We'll have to bring you the recap from up in the commentary box. So yeah, apologies.
Give us a sense of what happened, just generally.
I think it's all the races. So I don't even remember who. The trouble is, Neil, my brain is such a jumble when we've got all the different classes here and all the different people who are racing. You know, for me, it was all about Ekstrom and Kristoffersen. It was that brilliant battle, and I'm looking forward to seeing who can take the TQ spot.
And just talking about how different the conditions are to yesterday. Yesterday it was wet, it was dry, it was wet, it was dry. What we did notice in the last qualifying session is the track has got quicker. And because it hasn't rained, it could get even quicker now for the Euros and for qualifying 3.
For Euros, obviously, they're now racing for position, so it doesn't really matter to them, even if it rains between the semi-finals. I've got to be honest, I don't think it's going to rain again today. But it's been nice to see the consistency, talking to people like Ekstrom about how long it takes them to change the settings. The Polo's still... It's that car, you know, it's that special car with a big operating window in all conditions. They can't change it as quickly as they would like to be able to change it the Audi to match the Polo. But, you know, for me, the conditions are consistent now. They're in the same race. Yeah, this is basically going to be a race for the top qualifier spot between Ekstrom and Kristoffersen.
And what about the Hyundais? Because we know that they're quick, Nicholas and Timosiano.
Gronom's had a shocker today. He's got caught up behind Scheider twice. Scheider's a weapon. He got a podium yesterday. He's a great driver, but we haven't seen the best of Gronom. We saw the best of Gronom yesterday, I think, in Q2. Absolutely fantastic. If it rains, the Hyundai definitely isn't quite there in the wet at the minute. And I think one of the things to remember is where we're so late in the season this year compared to last year, I'm expecting that we have a greater chance of wet events than dry. So that's potentially a bit of an advantage. But Ekstrom said you give him half an hour to get it on the car, he can't do it in 3 minutes.
And a word about Johan, because he's obviously not lost it in his year away in touring cars, but he's quick, but he isn't going to have it all his own way. Matthias has got his racecraft dialed in.
Yeah, he has. You know, and again, Kristoffersson, people have said to it before, he can't race for it. You can look at that last race in WTCR in Sepang where he went from the back of the grid and passed every single person in the way. He can race for it, and we saw out there that he raced for it here in World RX as well. So I would love to see a proper gloves-off punch-up. And Hansen, with the changes on the car, you know, are they going to be in the mix as well?
And we can't ignore Robin Larson.
Sorry?
Can't ignore Robin Larson as a threat.
No, absolutely not. The pace of him again when he wasn't in traffic, Larson was absolutely bang on it. So I think we'd better go, Neil, hadn't we?
Yeah, well, if they're firing up the Euro supercars, you guys need to be in commentary. So thank you very much. So as they get up to commentary, let's see if we can quickly have a word with anyone. I don't know if we can because it'll be helmets on, last minute conversations with engineers, and the thumbs up there for Ben-Philip Gunderson. In fact, let's try with Ben-Philip. Let's see if we can get a word with Ben-Philip. So, hi Ben-Philip. Tell us what the plan is for the semi-final. Is it going to be a good race? No, never mind. He can't hear me. I can't hear him. I'm wearing a mask, and he's super in race mode. So, this is the new normal, ladies and gentlemen, and the new season is fully underway. You can hear that sound. It's a great sound. The gears being clunked in on the way down to the grid, and hopefully in about the next 5 seconds, Andrew Coley and Dan Rook should be in place. But look at this, semi-finals for the European Rallycross Supercar Championship Round 1 is about to get underway. So as Andrea Dubourg kangaroo hops past us and dial back the young superstars made it through the semi-final. Let's join Andrew Coley and Dan Rook up in the commentary booth.
Here we are, look. It's not easy running with a mask on. We are 2 meters apart. There you go. We've had our questions, but I say we're in a bubble as well. Me and Dan are staying together at a lodge, travelling together in a hire car. Everybody having their COVID tests. We're doing their best to get this done. There's nobody else in the spotters tower, by the way. The spotters are all up in the grandstand, so everything being done right here, including the racing. Supercar semi-finals. Pulling up to the grid now. Dan, you've just seen Andreas Eriksson, and I believe you asked him who's spotting for Ollie.
Yeah, it was a bit of a flyby question as we were making our way up to the commentary box, but yeah, just wanted to know who was spotting, Kevin or Andreas, because the question came up for us earlier, didn't it, during the qualifying races, but pressure on for the whole team now as Ollie's sitting on pole position for semi-final number 1 on his Euro RX debut.
Amazing performance by him. Andrea de Borg has the pace, doesn't he? Didn't have it all his own way with that DNF. I think it was in Q2. It was. Funny enough, second in Q1, DNF in Q2, and then an 8th and a 9th. So Andrea was at his absolute best when it was raining, wasn't he? Well, mind you, was Euro later in the day? I'm trying to think yesterday.
I think they had...
Q1 was in damp conditions, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been...
damp to drying.
Damp, drying, but it's not been wet like we've seen.
I suppose actually looking at Dan, if you look at the results about other front runners, there were other people who didn't have such a good session as well, wasn't there? Brinton had his problems on day 1. Been P2 twice. We are hearing that Brinton, his team are struggling with the car. And there is a question mark over whether Brinton is going to make it to the grid for semi-2. That is an absolute shocker. So they've got about 5-6 minutes left. Let's hope the team can get the job done. Semi-final time for round one of the 2020 FIA European Rallycross Championship for Supercars. Ollie Eriksson on the pole with 3 qualifying session wins from 4. Sondre Evjen alongside in the car that Johan Kristoffersen has been helping to develop. Ben Philip Gundersen up from RX2, runner-up last year to Supercar this year. Mats Oman on row 2. Row 3, Andrea de Bourg. Brilliant start to the weekend, not gone quite so well. And 18-year-old Tobias Darbach. Eriksson needs a clean start here. Evjen is quick. So's Ben Philip. Ready to race, light on. First semi-final of 2020's European Supercar. Great start, Evjen, from the outside, but I think Eriksson's got a better one from the inside. You can see how wet the track is. They've been out marking it, rolling it over with water. Eriksson into the first corner. Evjen goes with him. Oman goes straight to the joker. So Oman's the only person to joker there. Ben Philip Gundersen's dropped right back to the back of the pack, and you can see how wet the gravel is. Gundersen up the inside of Darbach. That was a pretty harsh attempt, but I don't know if he's made it stick. He hasn't. Darbach holds on. Gundersen will look again as he comes into the velodrome. But yeah, Dan, re-prep on the track. It's really wet on that gravel run up to the first corner.
Yeah, I must say that's something that we've missed, isn't it? Because we've been so busy with other things. On Sondre Evjen, wide, sideways at the bottom of the hill there.
Oh, he's off. Sondre Evjen off on the inside. Andrea de Bourg will get up the inside of him, surely there. And he doesn't somehow. Evjen might get a warning there, Dan, for track limits.
You can't think he would. He was out of control. He's not like he's gained any time. He accidentally did it.
Yeah, agreed. That would be our take on it anyway. Where's Mats Oman? Oman is only 4.6 off the back.
Evjen's got a problem. He has to.
Oh, super sideways and wide. Andrea de Bourg.
Yeah, Evjen's
pulled off to the side of the road. De Bourg went sideways over the curbs there with his rear wheels. Hopefully he's managed to keep the tyres on the rim. This has massively played into Eriksson's hands. He's 2 seconds up the road already. Yeah,
Eriksson is just pressure off for him, isn't it, really? Now it's just a case of not making any mistakes. He's already pretty much got the gap back to De Bourg, and he hasn't even jokered yet. So.
Darbach ran wide, and Ben Philip Gundersen gets past this time. It's pretty physical, but I think it's fair. Mats Oman looked 4.9. Oman's within 2 seconds of De Bourg here. Mats Oman looking to book a place in the semis. They're going to have to leave De Bourg out because he hasn't got enough time to joker. But now, and Oman gets, that's it. Oman gets a pass from Darbach. He gave him a nudge. Darbach went joker, and that's actually good for Mats Oman. Come on, Max, big push.
That's exactly what he needed, wasn't he? He's already caught up to the back of the train, so just now giving himself a bit of clear air. Now everybody in front of him is starting to joker, but Ben Philip has also got clear air, and that's crucial as well because we've seen some good pace from him.
There's Evjen off the side of the track. That's a great shame. Sondre Evjen not going to make it through, having qualified P3. Problems with the car. Well, Ollie Eriksson making the spotter's job for Kevin Eriksson a lot easier here. Down, he's 2.4 ahead, 2.6 ahead of De Bourg now. I think he'll wait and joker on the last lap probably. He might go next lap just in case the grip levels are not what they expect.
If the gap back to De Bourg is enough, because he doesn't want to bring himself out into a joker merge if De Bourg doesn't joker on the next lap. So he has to make sure he's got the gap back, even though De Bourg hasn't jokered yet, and if he came out behind it wouldn't matter, but you don't want the risk of the contact on the exit.
There you go, thank you Dan. Great analysis, and yeah, that's the extra safe thing to do. So will Kevin be looking at that merge? Because yeah, you're right, at the minute it's pretty much bang on. I suppose you can go safe at least at the merge, can't you? But still, you just don't need it. You don't want to be offline, you don't want to be in the deep, dirty mud, trying to get the braking done for that right handle with a big curb in it. Eriksson, where's he going to go? Standard lap. You can tell from the attitude of the car.
Yeah. So he on the brakes that little bit earlier, checking up for the left-hander, and that's exactly what he needed to do. And all three of our top three are all going to go on the last lap because Ben Philip, of course, had to make up time, which he lost behind Darbach.
So I'm looking at the gaps, and Oman has just dropped back a little bit from the two youngsters, Andrea de Bourg and Ben Philip Gundersen. Mats Oman is 7.8 to 4.1, is what, 3.7 seconds back. It's Gundersen who is the one that Oman could potentially get, but Eriksson, De Bourg and Gundersen are doing a good job here of pushing to try and gap the rest of the field to see if they can get in and out. Here we go, so your top three are going to joker now. It's Mats Oman, who I know the Swedish fans at home would love to see make it through to the final, who could do. He comes up towards turn one now. Eriksson, safe. De Bourg and Gundersen in. I think they're far enough ahead. Neither of them touch the markers. They're going to shut the door, and Mats Oman just misses out.
Yeah, unlucky there for Mats Oman, but you kind of knew it was going to happen once those two drivers got themselves a bit of clear room. that they'd be able to fire the laps in.
And don't race each other. I suppose the thing for them that's made the difference is Evgen. If Evgen was in there and these guys were all racing together, they could have cost each other time, and that would have played into Oman's hands. He had that joke, didn't he, on lap 1, led 5 cars scrapping it out. Ollie Eriksson, 3 qualifying wins, TQ, he takes semi-final number 1 and would be on pole in the European Rallycross Championship. Fantastic performance for him. Dubourg Andrea crosses the right line in 2nd, and Ben Philip Gunderson in 3rd.
Look at the gap Ollie Eriksson had, 4.3 seconds.
Big performance, was it? 4:34.2 for him. Interested to see what the times will be like in the next semi. Eriksson, Dubourg and Gunderson through to the final, which will be after Q3 for World RX. So these guys have got about 20 minutes to re-prep the cars. Mats Oman, Tobias Darbach and Sondre Evgen. Evgen with the DNF, but still a point for making it through to the semis. Eriksson, though, hoovering all the points up at the minute. Semi 2's pulling up to the line. Neil has got Ollie Eriksson. I wonder how pleased he is.
Oliver, you dominated that. How was it?
That was a good race. Got out clean from the start. They just watered the track, so I was lucky I had a good start on the asphalt, so I could carry a good speed over the gravel. So yeah, from there, it was. I couldn't believe it first lap. I thought I had a puncture in the Joker, but you know, we picked up a lot of gravel on the new wheels on the right side, so it was a bit slick there. But yeah, then got in the rhythm on the new surface of the track there. So yeah, it felt good.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So here is that super wet section of track that'll put the dust X and the water down to keep the dust down, which is better for visibility for the drivers, not just for the fans who, of course, aren't here today.
Makes the track a bit of an unknown, though, for the drivers.
Yeah, and that on the run to turn 1, especially on the inside line, yeah, you can't penalise him for that, can you? Well, he went out anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Evgen running off the inside of the track. There were no warnings up on the board anyway. Big cut in there. Look at Dubourg. Dubourg was lucky not to push the tyre off the rim because he crossed that curb at 90 degrees the direction of travel. That was Gunderson's pass on Darbach. It was in the air. You can't really change trajectory up there, can you, Dan?
No, not at all.
Captain Gunderson speaking. Requesting a flyby on Darbach. Eriksson wins semi-1. Semi-final 2 on the grid. Fuchik is at the back of the grid, which means that Brinterson has gone. You can see Brinterson is not on the front row. What a shame. So Evgen's gone from semi-1 and Brinterson from semi-2. They were 2 of the guys who I had down to challenge Eriksson. So Dubourg needs to get it done here. Just waiting for the one jump start centre to be sorted at the back of the grid there. You can see he's on red. So what are they going to do? Push him back? Oh, it's Mandy, sorry, push her back, Mandy August. Semi-final 2 for the European Rallycross Championship for Supercar. Here's your lineup. Front row, JB Dubourg and Peter Hedstrom. After Brinterson didn't make it to the grid, Pontus Tiedemann and Tamas Karai. Karai moved up a row. And at the back, Mandy August would have been P6, but it's Ale Fuchik who slots into that spot. Here goes, bringing the noise. Can Dubourg line up alongside Eriksson on that front row? Good start, row 2 for Tiedemann. Can he get inside his teammate Hedstrom? I reckon he can. Oh, Hedstrom shut the door though. Dubourg gonna go standard lap surely. Tiedemann goes straight to the Joker. Hedstrom goes with him. Fuchik goes to the standard lap. Mandy August has gone Joker.
Yeah, so Tiedemann there, he's going to probably end up running into traffic, I would imagine, although Fuchik's actually staying with Hedstrom there a little bit. But yeah, he's got to be careful now and hope that...
It's Mandy August. No, August has gone in with him. So Fuchik hasn't gone Joker, so ignore the graphic there. He must have run really wide and set the Joker indicator off. Fuchik runs wide again in the background.
Puncture, maybe?
Yeah, there's maybe something wrong with Fuchik's car. Certainly something wrong with the line on that lap anyway. Tiedemann having Joke and Mandy August P4 and P5. We've got a car a long, long ways. Tamas Karai. There's Karai that's confused us. He's a very long way back. Didn't get left on the line.
He's just coming down over the hill now, we can see from the commentary position.
So yeah, Karai, more problems. Not his weekend, Tamas Karai. Look forward to him returning to form at the next European round. Double header for Euro at Latvia. Sorry, double header for World at Latvia, but Euro will be with us there. Dubourg, he's so committed down the hill. I noticed that earlier on. He's obviously really comfortable in the Peugeot.
Yeah, definitely got the car underneath him, hasn't he? But it's great seeing them sliding sideways down the hill. That Armco on the left seems to approach you quite fast. And, well, yeah, he's got some rather large trousers, I'd imagine, to be going down that sideways.
He has indeed. He's got that 6 point on the harness loose. You've got to have the kahunas if you want to send it down there. JB Dubourg and Hedstrom, Fuchik. What's the gap between them? I'm just thinking, yeah, Tiedemann's got them, hasn't he? Tiedemann's definitely got Fuchik. Here he is, and Tiedemann might even pass Fuchik on track. Will want to go up a row if he can. Come on, Pontus. Trying to get alongside, can't quite this time. He'll hope that Fuchik makes the same mistake at the bottom of the hill that he did last time. So watch for Tiedemann keeping it tidy here. He'll line him up over the jump, but this time Fuchik gets it right. Going to go defensive. Not going to make a difference because Tiedemann's going to get him either way, but this is for Tiedemann. It was whether or not he could get his teammate Hedstrom, and that's looking a bit less likely now. Is anybody going to go Joke? I wonder if Peter might. He doesn't. He goes standard lap.
Gap's 3 seconds between those two. So.
Oh, he's going to look this time, surely. Tiedemann is up alongside Fuchik onto the dirt, gets it in front. Great pass by Pontus.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move. No contact needed at all, and well, going sideways or side by side over that blind crest. That's a bit scary, but yeah.
3.2 seconds to his teammate up ahead. We reckon the Joker's between 2.5 and 3, and of course the track's been watered. The dust X is down. We're not quite sure what it'll be. What is it going to be as they come around to the start-finish line this time? 1.6 to 5.3. It's gone up.
Wouldn't surprise me if we see it drop down now because Tiedemann's on a big push.
Yeah, stayed the same this time. I think Hedstrom goes. So Hedstrom's gone. This is to cover off his teammate, make sure he starts on row 2. Tiedemann's closer than I thought he'd be, but he won't risk it with Peter. Peter Hedstrom shuts the door. Tiedemann now has got to pass the guy who's running his car. Dan, that's dangerous ground.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it, but just make sure you don't touch him.
Yeah, you don't want to end up with getting an invoice for both cars. JB Dubourg, 5.2 seconds clear out front. His lap times compared to Ollie Eriksson, yeah, he's done a 44.1. So Eriksson's quickest was a 44.2. So JB Dubourg is on to match the pace of Ollie Eriksson. That's what we wanted to see, because we want to see a race in the final in about 25 minutes' time.
Taking it very cautiously on the way into the Joker lap there, but...
Doesn't want a warning, does he? Warning's reset for semis and final. Make sure you don't get any, then you could have a cheeky one in the final, maybe.
Yeah, and he's got the gap as well, and because the gravel's been watered, he's not too sure on grip levels. You could have overrun it and then blown your chances. So, very good option there to take it like that.
Oh, mistake from Dubourg on the run down the hill just at the last moment. Going to have to check up a little bit more for the right-hander. But it is JB Dubourg who's going to win semi-final number 2. He will go through. His brother's already through, so both the Dubourgs into the final. Hedstrom goes through in P2 to line up alongside Andrea Dubourg, and Pontus Tiedemann will go through to line up alongside Gundersen. Dubourg with a 4.35.0, Eriksson with a 4.34.2. Half a second of that, I reckon, with that mistake down the hill on the last lap, so we'll be very close between Dubourg and Ollie Eriksson. Karai coming around that gives you an idea of just how far back he was. I reckon a problem at the start, Dan. If we didn't see it at all, it usually means we focused on that front fight on the run to turn 1 and he didn't get off the line. But if not, maybe a mistake. He didn't get off the line. We are hearing that. There we go. JB Dubourg, Hedstrom and Tiedemann's your top 3. Fuchik, August and Karai finished here this weekend. Dubourg, the only person to win a session in qualifying in those tricky conditions yesterday morning. Neil Cole's got JB Dubourg now.
Hang on.
Well, they're not quite ready down there. Neil will be with us in just a moment. Remember, we're having to do these interviews at a distance, so we've got a boom man down there with a mic on the end to get to JB. JB's actually been very kind to stop for us.
How was it?
Oh, let's get you hear me? It's okay? Okay. So, it was a nice semi-final. We have a good pace. It was a surprise not to see Britison in the first row. I'm sorry for him, but this is motorsport, and I'm happy for the team because both drivers are in the final, and we will see if we can catch Oliver Eriksson.
Thank you, merci.
Good for De Bourg. Let's take a look back at that last Euro semi-final.
So there's Karai not getting off the line. Good start for JB De Bourg. And let's see what happened with the start, because obviously our graphic said Fucik. Yeah, no, Fucik was definitely on the standard lap there. Lead 3, pulling away slightly. Tiedemann was on the hunt.
I think Tiedemann, if he hadn't caught up with Fucik, I think Tiedemann would have got Hedstrom. Hedstrom, to be fair, Hedstrom didn't have the pace, did he, in Q4? I don't know if there's something wrong, but he was not on it. And I think Tiedemann had him. This time, to be fair, Hedstrom did the laps he needed to when Pontus was chasing, but I think the damage was done with the following Fucik. So your finalists are ready for round 1 of Euro RX at the end of the World Q3 qualifying session. And that is what we've got now. So we are, of course, on round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship Q3. The numbers just keep on coming. Going to find out who's going to take the second TQ of the year. Let's have a look at the lineup for race 1 of Q3. Gulan Schischrit on the inside. It's Jani Parssinen, Sebastian Eriksson and Liam Doran. Doran is there. New tyres for Eriksson. Eriksson currently 13th. So and Eriksson's equal on points with Schischrit. So this is for a place in the semis unless Bachuska smashes them both, which he could do. Or Munich. But Schischrit versus Eriksson. Eriksson has to beat Gulan here. That'll put him in 11th, and then it's up to what happens with everybody else. Good start by Eriksson, but by Schischrit too on the inside. Schischrit gets in his door, twice in the door, runs him off wide. Eriksson through the gravel, Schischrit as well. I'm afraid I think that'll probably get looked at. Doran up and over the crest into the Joker lap goes Jani Parssinen. It's Doran who leads that. Doran has led twice today, Dan, and twice the car's broken down. Yeah, it's been a massive shame for Liam, hasn't it? And I want to watch the car now as he comes in through here, because he's normally okay for the first half of the lap, and then he comes up over the jump, and then it doesn't want to turn in for him on the hairpin. Let's take a look here, Dan. Right, she's breaking half the... Oh, big moment there for Eriksson. We've missed Doran over the jump, and it seems okay this time. Yeah, seeing him out of our commentary position, he's driving okay out of the last corner there. Well, Liam was almost in the barrier on the inside of that corner as he crossed the start-finish line. I think he hit the barrier on the inside. Yeah, and he had the front wheel hooked over the curb on the final corner as well. You can see all the grass has been chucked out. Go on, Liam, get in. For him now, he's not in the running for the semis. He's had 2 DNFs. He's doing a Larson here. Larson a few years back, I can't remember when it was, but he'd had an absolute shocker. He went out in the first race, absolutely wiped the floor with everybody and just basically put on a drift show for the crowd who went mad. Not here, unfortunately, today. Interestingly, our cameraman Tom up the crane, the very high shot you see, he can hear the anti-lag reverberating off the hills in farmland here around the wonderful track at Hollius. He said he's never heard that before. He's been with us here all 7 years. Right back to Euro, in fact, in 13. And he said he's never heard it before because of the crowd, which is pretty... To be honest with you, where Tom's camera position is, he can probably hear sound systems more than the crowd. He's right near Happy Street. Always comes back in a good mood. Doran Schischrit 1.6 behind Eriksson, 3.1 off the back of Schischrit. So this is going the way of Schischrit, unless, as I say, he gets in trouble for the first corner. Yeah, so, I wouldn't be surprised if we definitely see an investigation for that. It almost seemed a bit like Schischrit just forgot where his brake pedal was, so, if I'm honest. It's a tricky one. It was twice. I think once in the door you get away with, twice I'm not so sure. When you see all the cars run deep, yeah, okay, but look, we'll see. We'll see. Driving well, though. Got the gap held at 1.6 at the moment. Is Eriksson any nearer? 1.3. So Ericsson 3/10 closer to Schiesschritt than he was.
Oh, loads of liquid just came out the back of Liam's car then, bright green.
So Liam's dumped his coolant, has he?
Yeah.
So another problem for Liam Doran. 3 retirements from 3 runs. Well spotted, Dan. I was looking at the timing screen to see what the gaps were. Parsonen, Schiesschritt, Ericsson, Doran. So Doran is off. Ericsson gonna maybe get held up by Parsonen, maybe gonna get through. Oh, just pulls out in time. There's Armco down the inside there as well. Schiesschritt is gonna take this. So the uncorrupted team boss comes over the jump towards the finish. Round the long left-hander. Schiesschritt takes it with a 3:09.0. Parsonen just in front of Sebastian Ericsson. Ericsson's fate now most likely in the hands of, in the hands of other people having problems actually, because if Schiesschritt's beaten him, he'll hold on to that 12th place. Yeah, so Ericsson needed to beat Schiesschritt to move into 12th, not 11th. There's a bloke who hasn't had a great weekend. Schiesschritt, Parsonen, Ericsson making it to the finish. 3:09.0 is down around. In previous session could be down around 15th, I think. 15th or 16th. Interesting to see what maybe. Obviously the track's been watered down, so it's going maybe a little bit slower than it was before. But at the minute, Schiesschritt is in 12th place. Sebastian Ericsson 13th. No investigations on our screen at the moment. I think Liam will be investigating what's gone wrong with this weekend.
I don't feel like he looked very comfortable in the car whilst he didn't have the problem.
I don't think he's had much seat time pre-season, has he? We know Bakkerud's had a short test. Well, of course, Bakkerud did a test in the car in 18. Liam did drive this car, the Pro Drive car, back in that first year they were running it. Doran dragged back to the paddock. Neil Coles with Galan Schiesschritt.
Galan, great to get a race win. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's, to be honest, we are struggling with the car since the beginning. We don't know. We can't find traction, so it's pretty hard for us. So finally, it's good to 1-1 hit. So that's for sure. The other guys will be much better than us. But you know, it's first 2 races. We have to try to stay focused. Don't lose too much motivation, and try to understand why we are struggling that much. You know, it's never easy. Yeah?
Thank you. Bon courage.
Thank you.
Have another look at the start. So Ericsson and Schiesschritt, the guys who were fighting for that P12, both got a good start. That was side by side, definitely. I don't know, Dan. The second one's worse than the first one.
Yeah, I just feel like, well, neither of them, to be honest, neither of them really.
And it is under investigation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
36
Parsonen
and 11.
and Schiesschritt. I think they've got that wrong.
Might see it wiped and then put back up again.
Well, let's have a look and see. So, did Parsonen and Schiesschritt get together later in the race? Whatever happened, Schiesschritt doesn't need it. Yeah, Liam did clip the bearing. There it is. Dan spotted that from the high camera. Fantastic. Dan, green fluids, coolant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Radiators in the rear, remember, for a rallycross car. And Liam will know that continuing with no water in the car will result in a blown engine with only 5 days before Finland.
Yeah.
Re-prep day here and a couple of re-prep days in Finland, but not a job you need to do. Well, we're still seeing Schiesschritt and Parsonen under investigation. Let you know what the outcome of that is when we do. Last of the race 2 cars drawing up to the line. Both the all-in cool Rennie Munich Motorsport cars are in this one on either side of the grid. Munich pulling out to the outside, Scheider to the inside. Scheider with a podium yesterday. Here we go, race 2. Coming towards the closing stages of qualifying here for round 2 of the World Rallycross Championship. Timo Scheider, Rokas Baciuska, Niklas Gronholm and Rennie Munich. Baciuska with 4 new tyres on the car will need to storm this one if he wants to get past Schiesschritt and Ericsson in the points table. Gronholm not right on the outside of the grid, but he hasn't had it go his way today. Good start by everyone again. Gronholm's not going to get the gap he's looking for on the inside. Scheider's going to get the whole shot. Gronholm's going to get pushed wide, and Munich's done a sly one. Cut up the inside, going to go Joker first lap. Great drive by Rennie Munich. Lost the start down, and that's what we said. If you're going to lose it, just bin the start and do the cutback, go Joker.
Yeah, that's what you need to do if you're on the outside there. And well, I feel like if Gronholm maybe had a little bit more of an idea of how far up the inside the other cars were to him, he could have maybe backed out of it as well.
Yeah, and made the cutback, gone Joker. But then, you know, if he'd been beaten to that Joker by Munich, wouldn't have been any good either. You can see Gronholm's got the measure of Baciuszka, but he's got to find a way past. And he spent 2 races tucked up behind Scheider. Now, I suppose the question here is, you can't even really go Joker down. Look at the gap back to Munich. Munich's with them. He's 2.5 off the back, Munich is, so he's pretty close to them. I don't think they can afford to send Gronholm now, but maybe just take a risk on it. And they haven't. They can't, can they? It's too close.
No, exactly. This has really not been Gronholm's event, has it?
No. Not our, look, we've seen yesterday, we saw one epic session from him. We know he's super fast in the dry, so we know the car's there or thereabouts. But he hasn't had a run like he got a bad draw yesterday, which meant that he picked late and ended up towards the outside. I know he's deliberating over where to go. He said his weekend had been up and down. Today, I think he'd say it's just been a bit down, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, caught up in the traffic. You can see he's got more pace. Every single person he's been held up behind, he's all over the back of. But being faster than them is one thing, being able to overtake them is another. And that's something that he hasn't been able to do, is he's going to the Joker lap now.
Gronholm to the Joker, but Munich, I think, is going to get him. Gronholm is in P10 with a 7th and a 12th. Rennie Munich is down in P15 with a 14th and a 13th, so this is not ideal. How are their lap times faring compared to the previous race? Yeah, they're in the 44s, so whereas Goulin's best lap was a 45.1. Gronholm looking at a pretty average result here. I'm just looking to see. I think he'll be safe. I think he'll be safe at the back of the semis, but it's certainly not going to be the starting position he was hoping for. Maybe they can pull off some decent Joker lap tactics in the semi and sneak him into the final, but to win from the back of the semis is going to be hard work. I think Timmy Hansen did it once from Canada, if I remember correctly, but it's hard to win from the back row of the semis.
Yeah, he's going to need a small miracle, hasn't he? But at least he's got past Baciuszka there, so that's one place back up he's gained.
Yeah, Baciuszka, of course, was... yeah, to be fair, Munich's on a decent run here then. Rennie Munich.
44.6 for Rennie Munich. His teammate Scheider on a 44.1.
He says only half a second off Scheider. Fair go. Scheider, professional driver at the highest level, DTM champion. Taken a TQ in World RX when he was driving for MJP. Scheider takes it with a 3.03.5. Yeah, okay, Munich and Gronholm 3.05.1, 5.3, even Baciuszka a 3.6.5, so they've gone a lot faster than the previous race went. So that is bad news for Ericsson. Sebastian Ericsson, it was in 13th. The fact that Baciuszka has gone quicker than him by some margin may well mean that he's going to fall further down, and Baciuszka might just sneak a place in. He's in 14th at the minute. All to play for. Scheider, Munich, Gronholm and Baciuszka, the result for race 2. They all go quicker than the previous run. Gronholm not able to get the starts here. We know how quick that car is, Dan. There's something not quite right this weekend.
Yeah, it's such a shame to see, isn't it, as well? Because, well, his average score last year would have put him as champion, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I asked him at the press conference at the end of the season last year when he won. I was like, oh, do you wish you were in the championship fight? He goes, there wouldn't have been a fight. Yeah. And you know, he was smiling. He knows it would have been a fight. But, yeah, his average score would have meant that Baccarat and Hansen would have been fighting for second, maybe, but probably for the championship. It would have been close between them. But we saw it yesterday. The pace is still in there. Look at the Joker lap as well. Hard over the curbs on the inside, and a warning for the track markers too.
Timo, a dominant performance, and it should secure you a place in the semis. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. This is what we have. So I gave it all. We had 4 new tires. So this is the performance today, and hope this is enough to make the next step. But semis should be okay and should be safe. But yeah, there's one more race to make it to the big final.
Good luck. Thanks, Timo.
Thank you.
Always smiling, isn't he? Timo really enjoys racing cars. I think everybody does, but you know, Timo, professional driver for such a long time. Good to see that he still gets a kick out of it, especially when he's not right at the front. He's making the semis, he's making the best of the equipment he's been given, and yeah, it'd be fun to see what he can do from there. Say podium yesterday, absolutely brilliant performance. Best start to his World Championship since he took the TQ in Barcelona a few years back. Look how close Bakkerud and Sabo are, trying to get in the best groove they can off the line. Timizyanov and Hansen with a bit more space. Getting towards the sharp end now. Hansen is in 11th. Bakkerud up in 5th. Actually, is this the first time we've seen Bakkerud and Hansen on track together this year?
I think it could be, yeah. We didn't see it yesterday, did we?
No, Bakkerud didn't make the semi, so he wouldn't have met Timmy in semi or the final. I don't think they were in the same race together, so I say it is. Yeah. Okay. Hansen fans, Bakkerud fans.
Fireworks.
Yeah. Here we go. I know you'll be on the social ready to go. Race 3 of Q3 coming towards the final stages of qualifying for the World Rallycross Championship round 2. Bakkerud on the pole in 5th, Sabo in 9th, Timizyanov in 7th, Timmy Hansen in 11th. Needs a stormer here. New tyres on the car for Andreas Bakkerud. Bakkerud versus Hansen for the first time since 287 days ago, I reckon, in South Africa. Good start all the way across the grid, but Bakkerud's on the inside, should get the whole shot here. Timmy Hansen drops in, going to make the cut back. I reckon Hansen's going to go Joker lap 1 unless Sabo goes in front of him. Sabo does go Joker and Timmy goes with him. Andreas Bakkerud has got Timizyanov behind him. Good Joker for Sabo, tidy for Timmy behind him, but maybe held up by Sabo on the way in, not the line he would have wanted. Bakkerud, I thought he'd run wide, I thought Timmy was going to have a look, but he didn't. This is good for Andreas, he's got to get pushing on, see if he can get on the front row of the semis. Timmy Hansen in 11th, Dan, will be happy to be in the semis, but he definitely wants to go up a row or two if he can.
Yeah, of course he does. That's not the way he wants his championship fight to start out, is it? With struggling to get into the semi-finals, but oh, a bit of a moment for him. Oh, he's on the gas. Send it to me. Come on, keep it together.
Did well there. Didn't lose any time, despite that not being Hansen style. That was Solberg style. I wonder if he might go Joker here, but no, he doesn't. You see, he's staying in behind Sabo. I guess.
Well, he's already jokered.
Oh, sorry, Joker first time, of course, Dan. Yeah. So really, he's stuck here, isn't he?
Yeah, needs to try and make a move on track.
But if you make the move and it doesn't come off, if it doesn't stick, you've lost even more time.
Yeah, it's a risk, isn't it? But he's just got to be confident that Szabo's got the pace.
They said, didn't they were doing something with the car to see whether or not they could improve it. You know, he's hoping it would be. Oh, Timizyanov's gone round. Timizyanov big sideways. That's going to help out Sabo and Hansen. They go up the inside.
Something broken on that car, definitely.
Timizyanov in all sorts of trouble. Looked sideways there, didn't it, when he jumped on the gas coming out of the hairpin? Do you think he's broken the front drive shaft, Dan?
Yeah, potentially. We need to look at the characteristics of the car a little bit more, but...
Into the Joker for Timizyanov in the background, so that does help Timmy out. Timmer was where? He was in 7th place, so Timizyanov's going to drop back a bit here. That might see Hansen up a row. Where was Sabo?
Yeah,
Sabo
front
was
drive shaft for Timizyanov, sorry. He's just in rear-wheel drive there.
Yeah, it looked, like I say, it looked 600 horsepower through the rear wheels of a car that's not designed for it, isn't ideal.
No.
Difficult to find the traction. The diff will be doing all sorts of things where it's not working in conjunction with the front one. Bakkerud has checked out. He's 3.4 seconds up the road. Andreas Bakkerud, runner-up in the World Championship last year. I know his fans at home will be desperate for a good result. I want to see him in the semi-finals. I think he's going to take this one. Andreas going to slide across and shut the door on Sabo. Lap times are in the 43s. He's done a 43.7 and a 43.5. This is the Andreas Bakkerud we know. Sabo and Timmy Hansen behind, not slow, are they? And that's the thing, they went Joker on the first lap, and okay, it wasn't perfect for them, but they're looking quick, Dan.
Yeah, quick enough to hopefully move themselves up the table, especially for Timmy. That's exactly what he needs.
Bakkerud coming up over the jump, looking at a 3:03.5, which is Scheider's time. All these guys standing to get a decent result. He beats it easily, 3:01.5. Timmy Hansen goes out wide to try and get Sabo, ends up 0.3 off him, but it's a 3:03.4. It's only half a second quicker than Timmy went last time. He was 9th last time with that time, but at the moment, it will see him 3:03. It'll see him up in 3rd place. So Timmy does beat Shada. Timmerzianov obviously doesn't. Timmer's just tickled that round to get it to the finish. Timmer was in 7th place. This is a bad result, but I think he's far enough into the standings that he won't drop out of the semis. Bakkerud with a 3:01.5, only a second and a half of the pace that Ekstrom won the session with last time. Christian Sabo P2, Timmy Hansen in 3rd place, and Timmerzianov making it round to the finish. Top 3 look, so Hansen slots into 3rd place. Lowest he can be is 8th, and that's if the last one is really fast. So he might have got himself into the semis. Bakkerud is with Neil.
Andreas, that's more like it. Looks like you'll be in the semis. You happy?
Yeah, it's been a better day too here. Obviously, we have more control over our issues and trying to enjoy it a little bit as well. It's been a lot of work to get here and to finally win some race heats and being up there fighting again. That's pretty nice. So all I can say is big thanks to everybody that supports us now. It's a difficult year for everyone, and we are definitely included one of them. It's just so nice to be able to race again. Race cars is the best job in the world, so it's nice to be here in Hollies.
I agree. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bakkerud off the line with Sabo next to him. It was such an even start. Timmy backs out of it early, look. He knows. You see him check the brake there, Dan, and he's going for the inside line. Wants to go joker. Sabo's gone, but he knows he can't get up it would have been worse to go standard lap and end up outside the other 2 cars, Timmer and Bakkerud.
Yeah, so Timmy learning from his previous race, actually, didn't he? So last time he ended up nearly going straight onto the gravel. There's Timmerzianov with the broken drive shaft.
Didn't see if he clipped the curb on the fast right-hander, but it went after that corner, didn't it? So it was obviously okay on the way in. When he got on the gas, it wasn't okay on the way out. This was okay on the way out, slotting in front of Sabo and Hansen. Not so bad for Timmy as we thought, because Sabo was on a flyer as well, and they should all make the semis. Here we go then. This lot are definitely going to make the semis. The question is, in what order? Five of our fastest World Rallycross Championship drivers on the line and ready to go. Let's have a look at the grid for race 4. Ekstrom on pole, Johan Kristoffersen second, Kevin Hansen, Anton Markland and Robin Larsson. We know the Audis have managed to match Kristoffersen's pace. Ekstrom and Kristoffersen are equal on points at the top of the table. One of them is going to take the TQ. Depends who gets to the finish first in this race. Pole in semi 1 and pole in semi 2. They won't meet again until the final, so it's bragging rights until then. Awesome reaction time on the inside from Ekstrom and from Kristoffersen. Ekstrom's right into Kristoffersen, lets him go into turn 1. Kristoffersen gets a push from the rear, Ekstrom does from Hansen. Larsson almost up over the curbs. Into the joke lap goes Ekstrom. I think Hansen's gone with him, left Kristoffersen out on the standard lap.
Same again for Ekstrom. He knows that he has to get the joker lap out of the way to give himself the clear laps as well, so he can beat him on outright pace. But this time, he's not got that much of a gap to catch up to the train that haven't jokered. So we've seen a small battle between Larsson and Markland. They've dropped themselves back, and well, Ekstrom's going to need him to get out of the way.
Larsson, with a mistake in turn 1, has basically ended up backing himself a little bit further back than he wanted to be. A mistake now from Markland. Ekstrom hammering the laps in. He'll really hope that they get out of his way. Of course, they have control over Larsson. They could send Larsson to joker now. That would help Ekstrom out, maybe. They don't, and it's another mistake from Larsson. Ekstrom now into the back of Markland. This is playing into the hands of Kristoffersen. What's the gap between Kristoffersen and Ekstrom?
3.1.
Yes, he's got to find 6/10 already, and he's into the back of Markland. This is advantage Kristoffersen. He won the start, and with that, Dan, I think he's going to get the TQ unless Ekstrom pulls off some sort of miracle.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the hands of Kristoffersen now, because it's going to be so hard for Ekstrom to get past Markland.
All good. We can have the battle in the final. We don't mind. We'll save it for the end of the weekend. They're going to end up pole in semi 1 and pole in semi 2. Basically, they're so far ahead in qualifying with a win and a second place each. Kristoffersen's gap to Ekstrom now is 3.5. Massive send into the first corner. That is fully lit. You rarely see Kristoffersson that sideways.
Yeah, he's Mr. Neat and Tidy normally, isn't he? But he's on a big push. His last lap was a 43.7, which actually Andreas set 43.5. So Andreas could be on for a quick time here.
Ekstrom can't find a way past. Larsen has just managed to get a little way in front of Markland. Kristoffersson going to wait until the final lap. Here he comes. Oh, it's not as exciting as the previous session. I wanted to see another Q2 race, but I say we're going to have to save it for the final, and I'm confident we'll get it when we get there. A side-by-side start for Ekstrom and Kristoffersson, but it will be inside line for Kristoffersson if he gets this Joker lap right. Larsen goes in with him and Markland. Here comes Kristoffersson sliding out. It'll be him with the smile on his face this time round. Kevin Hansen can't quite get in front of Larsen. Larsen's going to flick it the other way. Can he hold on the gas with a big old drift? Gets the inside line. Kevin, I thought, might slot up underneath him into Velodrome. But this time it goes the way of Johan Kristoffersson. He won 2 of the 3 sessions yesterday. Is he going to be fast enough to beat Bakkerud? 3:01.5 was Bakkerud's time. Kristoffersson into the last corner. Here he comes, looking for the session win. He's got it, 2:59.5, fastest time of the weekend for Johan Kristoffersson. He wins Q3, and with that, will take the top qualifier spot. Ekstrom lost out at the start, jokered early, and it didn't go his way, but a 3:01.560 will see him third behind Bakkerud. Brilliant time by Bakkerud, and that's going to move him right up the table. He was 5th. I reckon Bakkerud might get a front row start in the semis. Kristoffersson, Ekstrom, Larsen, Kevin Hansen and Anton Markland. You can see there Ekstrom slotting in behind Andreas Bakkerud. So Bakkerud just got that quietly done, didn't he? Kristoffersson winning Q3, and with it, as I say, taking the top qualifier spot.
Looked like that was a big push.
Yeah, it was good feeling. First of all, I had a very, very good start again, and I could get out first. From there on, the car felt much, much better than it did in Q2. We didn't really have the pace there, and I was not sure about the pace of Matthias because he was very fast in Q2. But it's so nice and adrenaline pumping when you really have the nice fight with Matthias. So I'm really enjoying.
You're top qualifier again.
Thumbs up from Johan Kristoffersson for this amazing start. So he got away from the line fantastic, and I think Ekstrom here would know, but being in P2, Ekstrom now is like, okay, I'm going to go Joker, I'm going to pull the same move again. Unfortunately for him, this time Markland and co weren't quite quick enough. He needed them to hold on to their gap a bit longer and allow him to close it down. So Kristoffersson has said, look, I didn't have the pace in Q2. That's interesting, because if they have found more pace in the Polo, that means it is advantage Kristoffersson. But there's so much psychology here, Dan. You know, he's like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I really enjoy the fight, but I did beat him. And it's all about trying to set your rival up to think ahead. I think a bit too much.
Yeah, they're trying to play the massive mind games, aren't they? And that's one thing about being professional drivers, both Ekstrom and Kristoffersson. They're able to keep their cool, even though they're firing at each other.
The 2 least emotional drivers, and yeah, looking forward to a big fight later today. Here we go then, standings at the end of Q3. Qualifying done for round 2 of the World Rallycross Championship. Johan Kristoffersson takes his 2nd top qualifier of the weekend with session wins in Q1 and Q3. Ekstrom is in P2. Bakkerud on the front row next to Kristoffersson. Then Larsen on the front row next to Ekstrom. So that will go the way of Ekstrom, I think. Then Kevin Hansen, Christian Sabo. Great performance by both those drivers. Markland in 7th, Timo Scheider in 8th. Timo's hustling the Seat Ibiza this weekend. Timmy Hansen gets 9th. Gronholm's in 10th. So's Timosyanov. Rennie Munich has made it. So Rennie Munich goes through to the semi-finals. Right, Euro mode back on. Round 1 for them. Ollie Eriksson would love to take a win here. Debut in the European Rallycross Championship would be epic to get that win. JB de Borg, of course, is a bit of a legend of Euro RX last year. 2 seconds, 2 thirds. and the win in Latvia. He won the last round of the season last year. Close between them on the times in the semi-finals. We're ready for the final of European Rallycross Championship. Round 1, Hollius in Sweden. Oliver Eriksson racing at home as his prize drive for being the RX2 champion against JB de Borg, who was runner-up in this series last year. Peter Hedstrom and Andrea de Borg, row 2. Row 3, Ben Philip Gundersen and Pontus Tiedemann. Elbows out. About to give out our first big trophy of the year. Great reaction time from both the front row drivers. Hedstrom trying to find a way through. Eriksson's got the inside line. JB de Borg not going to give it up. Big bump on the inside. Eriksson runs deep. De Borg's in the gravel trap. Eriksson trying to find his way into turn 1 first. He does get there. Pushing out wide into the Joker lap went Hedstrom. And with him has gone Ben Philip Gundersen. Ollie Eriksson got away with that, Dan. The bump, just as he hit the brakes on the run into turn 1, pushed him really deep.
Yeah, he got a little bit bullied there, I think, didn't he? A lot of contact all the way around him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually got nudged from behind on the way into the corner there. But yeah, fantastic to keep it together now. Now he just needs to keep his cool and put the lap times in.
Andrea de Borg has made it up from row 2, past his brother. So Andrea de Borg in P2, Tiedemann and JB de Borg in there as well. JB wants to take this, going to have to do something with Joker strategy.
Yeah, he's back in 4th. He's the last of the guys that hasn't jokered, so he's going to need a small miracle if he wants to leapfrog his way up through. But Ollie Eriksson now, look at this. Look at the gap he's pulled, 1.2 back to Andrea de Borg already.
Kevin Eriksson, his brother, of course, has won a round of the World Championship, will be in his ear saying, keep it calm, keep it steady. The gap's gone up 3/10 again. Andrea de Borg 1.5 off the back. Tiedemann 3/10 further, another half second back to JB de Borg. And JB's in trouble here because with Hedstrom and Gundersen having jokered already, he really needs these two to get stuck into each other.
Yeah, 100%. But they need to get themselves in the fight, don't they?
JB, I think, lost out at turn 1 big time. Eriksson, I say, to me, I don't know if he was late on the brakes or as you say, if he got a nudge from behind, but he definitely got pushed deep. And as he got pushed deep, that fired de Borg off the outside. For me, it's a racing incident. But again, we'll look at the replays. I think he's hit the brake just as he's hit a bump. Either that or, as you say, a big shunt from the rear, and he will have felt that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a shunt from the rear. Of course, we'll check it out when we see the replays. But well, is that gap coming back down again now? 1.2.
It is. 1.2. Andrea de Borg's piling it back on. What do you say on the radio now, if you're Kevin? You know, he can win this from here. Remember, you know, he's leading, so it's fine. It doesn't matter what the gap comes down to, as long as he gets out in front of Hedstrom. At the minute, it's the only person behind who's joking. He's got enough time to him. I mean, yeah, there is sideways there. Do you see that over the bump?
Yeah, there's a really bad rut developing there, isn't there, on the exit of the final corner as the transition from the tarmac to the gravel. The cars have been dipping in and making a big hole. So that's going to start to really affect everybody later on.
They might regrade that before semi-finals. We'll see. Eriksson still leading from de Borg and Tiedemann. JB de Borg can't find a way through, smoking the tyres up, trying everything he can. Hedstrom can't close the gap down on de Borg either. Let's see how that bump affects Ollie Eriksson and draw a spin in the background. Tiedemann's gone round at high speed. Tiedemann dropped to the back of the pack. He's gone. Pontus Tiedemann is out of the fight. He was on for a podium, although Hedstrom was near enough to get the overlap on him. Tiedemann has gone. So Hedstrom now, look, he's only, 2.8 off the back, I think it is. Yeah, 2.8 off the back of Andrea de Borg. Hedstrom having jokered already. JB's right in it. Oh, JB's got a problem. JB de Borg goes out. So now Hedstrom definitely on for a podium. JB de Borg has got a problem with the car. Was on a go slow, whether it's an intermittent, no, it's definitely gone. Okay, so Eriksson on to the final lap. This time you can see across the front of his screen, RX2 champion, winner's drive. Through that bump, keeps the car straight, keeps it steady. Just got to nail this last lap. Go steady, Ollie, no showboating. He's going in sideways anyway. Andrea de Borg's gone in with him. Great for Andrea de Borg. This is what a recovery after some of the sessions that just haven't gone his way.
This is the form that we've been waiting to see from Ollie Eriksson in a supercar, isn't it? We've seen him regularly competing in Nordic, but we've not quite seen him pulling out the RX2 performances in a supercar.
He had a brilliant race with Johan Kristoffersen in the last round of Nordic. For me, when he was at Hollius earlier this year, he just wasn't firing at all 4 cylinders, but he very much is now. This is the Ollie Eriksson that's destroyed the RX2 field a couple of times. Eriksson wins the European Rallycross Championship at home in Hollius with a fantastic drive. That's what we expect to see from Ollie Eriksson. P2, Andrea de Borg. P3, Peter Hedström. Didn't really have quite the fight we thought we'd see there, did we, with JB de Borg having the issues that he did after the start. But nothing to take away from Eriksson. He's absolutely got the job done. 3 out of 4 qualifying session wins. His semi-final and his final. Fantastic. Oliver Eriksson wins round 1 of the European Rallycross Championship 4 Supercars from Hollius in Sweden. Andrea de Borg is in 2nd and Peter Hedström 3rd. Gundersen, JB de Borg and Pontus Tiedemann, the rest of your finalists. Problems, of course, with de Borg and Tiedemann during that final. Another look at the start. To watch Eriksson here, and you'll see what I mean. There's an acceleration. If it's anyone, it's Hedström, isn't it? So Eriksson on the inside. Yeah.
That's a big hit.
Yeah, I thought, you see what I mean? That's why I thought it was a bump, because the car lifted up. It's Hedström picked him up at the rear.
Yeah, that was a really, really big hit, and he would have known straight away what's just happened.
Yeah, and of course the bumper off later in the race. So Hedström, say, with that little nudge, and unfortunately the person who came off worst from it was JB de Borg, because he was trying to go around the outside of Ollie. But he's kept his cool there, Dan. It's an impressive performance. I say that's more like it. That's the Ollie that I want to see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see him carry on in the championship. Obviously, this is his prize drive.
He's got to
come back and try and get the title.
He's got to. This is the one year you can do it with 3 entries. In terms of budget, you'll never have a cheaper year in the European Rallycross Championship than this. I wonder if maybe we can find out with Neil, who's with the winner now, if we might see him at any more European rounds this year. Ollie Eriksson, winner here in Sweden.
So a bit of celebration there for Oliver. Oliver, the step up to supercars, and it's the top step of the podium. You must feel good.
That was good. It was a really good weekend. Really sorry to de Borg there for turn 1. It was an even start with drag race. Our brake must have a bit and didn't quite get the car turned, so we both went wide there. So I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, sorry to him. But from there I could just put my pace in. Felt really good. These are small mistakes, but my spotter said keep it clean all the time. You have the pace, and just stay out there and do your thing. So yeah, it worked.
And to do it at home is great. Well done.
Yeah, this event has been haunting me, you know, the past years in lights and so on. It's always been technical difficulties taking me out, but yeah, now we reached all the way.
Congratulations.
Here are the standings after round 1 of the European Rallycross Championship 4 Supercars. Ollie Eriksson with the win at home and a maximum point score, 30 points. JB de Borg, despite a bad final, with 23. Hedström on 20. Then it's Ben Philip Gundersen right up there in 4th. Andrea de Borg, Evjen, Tiedemann and Brintersen. Problems for Evjen and Brintersen. I think they could have been higher than that, but some fantastic performances throughout the entry. I wonder if we'll see Ollie Eriksson at the remaining rounds this year. Well, a beautiful afternoon here in Hollius. Dry conditions could well mean that we have a fantastic battle later on today. Dan and me have had a brilliant time. We'll leave you with Neil.
Well, there you go. You can tell we've had some action here at Hollius, and that was the European Rallycross Championship Round 1 final. Damage to the car, but we're going to do it all with the semis and the final for the World Supercars very soon, and of course the final for the first ever Project E. Now those will be wherever you normally get your Rallycross on your traditional broadcaster or live stream if it's not geo-blocked. So make sure you tune in just under an hour for the 2-hour live broadcast. But from all of us on the live stream and from all of us and all of you watching at home, thank you very much for being with us, and we shall see you very soon here in Sweden.